Hey there and welcome to Get Indie Gaming, and with EGX, the largest gaming show in the UK, over for another year. In this video I'll take you through 20 of the lesser well-known games, my hidden gems of EGX, from just over the 250 you could play at the show. First up, and in no real particular order, Art of Rally is a super stylized top-down rally racing game from the creator of Absolute Drift. Featuring more than 30 of the most loved and iconic rally cars from the 60s through the 80s, including those from Group B and Group S series, players will have access to over 50 different stages and will need to repair their cars from stage to stage. With various driving settings from beginner to expert, this is another arcade racing game to watch and should be out in 2020. At number 19, Stones of Solace came out via Steam this summer just gone. It's a minimalistic experience, and while super niche, it offers a simple and painterly way in which to de-stress and unwind within a zen-like environment. Even on the busy and noisy show floor, 5 minutes with this was enough to feel wonderfully refreshed. Coming next at number 18, Cultivate Before Time looks and plays like a farming sim spliced with parts of Oxenfree. It's a story-driven game featuring a mystery-branching narrative where you explore an old-fashioned looking village, moorland and more in search of knowledge and mysteries to solve. Along the way you learn to cultivate the land, forge meaningful relationships with NPCs, and run into the odd dinosaur here and there. At number 17, Project Grove is a first-person action puzzler with platforming elements. You'll join Edric and his companion in this award-winning Best Indie Adventure game from last year's DreamHack conference in Sweden. In addition to the puzzles and platforming, you'll also collect flora and brew potions with which to buff your magical abilities. This one was new to me and many others around the booth, and seemed to go down particularly well with younger audiences. Up next at number 16, The Glass Ceiling Games is described as a punk feminist augmented reality game where the goal is to play and slay within a series of fantasy combat sports and boss up the ranks within a skyscraper called the System. Its dark humour and subversive mechanics with neon cartoon art style is finally topped off with a bespoke punk soundtrack inspired by Riot Girl. Cake Bash is a 4-player game from 3 developers who previously worked at Ubisoft. In Cake Bash, which if I'm honest looks like a great idea for a TV series too, you duke it out with others to bake the best and most tastiest cake, and also you can spoil your rivals' ones with not so tasty things, bash them up with weapons while avoiding huge and nasty spills. Honestly, this is super great fun to play, and it should be out later in the year on Steam and all of this generation's consoles. Next up at number 14, and a game I spotted very late in the day at the show, Skeleton Crew is a physics-based platformer where you're able to unlock up to 18 playable characters. You'll explore a crumbling gothic world of Carpathia alone, or with up to 3 other players in local or online co-op. Skeleton Crew has a planned release of some point next year, and at the moment is expected out via Steam. At 13, and another game that was featured within the Left Field Collective area, Gladiabots is out now via Steam. As you can probably tell, this one's essentially an AI arena battle game, where you build your squad, set out their AI and send them off into battle. You're able to iterate, improve and build upon your robot's AI without needing any programming skills, all within a single player mode and online options. I only had 10 or so minutes with this, although I can see there's plenty to keep you hooked and coming back for more. At number 12, Fuzzball, expected out this winter, is a chaotic looking party game for up to 4 players. You take control of one of 6 cute looking fuzzballs as you roll around, dash and bash your way to victory. With different and dynamic game stages, you can switch things up to extend the replayability. Fuzzball is coming to Switch, PlayStation 4 and the Xbox. Coming up at number 11, Xenosis Alien Infection has you play as a deep space salvage hunter who's discovered a long-lost starship that's seemingly full of riches. As could be expected, once you're on board, things don't go particularly well. This retro-looking 2D pixel art with modern lighting and shadow systems offers a 3D depth within a 2D game. Now I understand this is a first for a top-down title. With tough and dense combat together with an in-depth crafting system and detailed characters with multiple subplots, the Nosis Alien Infection is expected late 2020 via Steam and all of the current generation consoles. About halfway through this EGX Hidden Gem countdown, The Things We Lost in the Flood is out now via itch.io, where you can pay what you want. All in, this is really a kind of experiment where you sail through a flooded world, building your boat as you go. One of the twists comes from being able to write and place messages in bottles and toss them into the water. You're then able to find and read these messages and either put them back for others to find, or you can simply destroy them. All in, I love the minimalism of the art style and the excitement of what's to be discovered in those messages in bottles. At number 9, and a game I knew totally zero about before walking past the booth, Squealer Moth is a 2D pixel art platformer that comes with wave-based survival action. You take control of a parasite that's able to infest the on-screen enemies, and by taking control of them, you can use them against the other on-screen nasties. It's brutal, it's fast, and it's fun. Up now at number 8, Locomotion is a railway-themed puzzler which has the odd premise of you having an alien making off with your gold, and you're tasked to go and take it back. With 51 levels that get progressively harder, Locomotion will see you playing in a fun-looking cartoon world where you can solve the puzzles with over a dozen such mechanics, ranging from flicking switches to using magnets and more. There's also a backstory about loss, vengeance, and aliens. Locomotion is out now via Steam. Next up at number 7 and out in early access on Steam this past October 21st, 10 Miles to Safety sees us with a simple goal. I say simple, and yet here we need to get 10 miles away from a city that's overrun with the post-apocalyptic infected. It's an isometric game with strategic elements that can be played with up to 4 people. I'm kind of tired of the zombie-type games, although this has longer legs than I initially suspected. At number 6, No Time to Relax actually came out in February of this year, although I hadn't heard anything of it until passing the booth on the way to see something else. It's a life simulation game which I'm gonna call is loosely based on the 80s board game of Game of Life. It comes with 7 playable characters and up to 4 people can play in local or online co-op. There's also a number of single-player modes, and as a light-hearted little package, this offers plenty of content and fun aplenty. Up next at number 5, Lordwinklebottom Investigates is expected in May of next year. It's inspired by detective stories such as those of Miss Marple, Sherlock Holmes and Agatha Christie, while it also drips with classic Britishisms. You join Lord Winklebottom and his companion, Dr. Frumple, as they investigate a grisly murder in this point-and-click adventure. Here you can interview suspects, collect clues and solve puzzles to crack the case in this beautifully hand-painted 2D world. Lord Winklebottom Investigates is coming to Steam and all of the usual consoles. And at number 4 we have Young Souls, a colourful and wonderfully hand-drawn 2.5D beat-em-up, which tells the story of Jen and Tristan, twins on a mission to save their adopted father. It offers single-player and co-op modes and uses a customization system which offers a huge variety in weapons, armor and spells to finish this off. It's also highly polished with 70 or so dungeons to see your way through with pleasantly looking animations and a subtle color scheme. The developer also mentioned the game will have a strong story element too and will come out sometime in 2020. At number 3, and something I have covered before, although it slipped off my radar before seeing it and playing it at this EGX. While it might look a simple hack and slasher, Unto the End actually has a fairly strong and complex combat system. You need to be vigilant in what your enemy are up to. It's certainly not a button masher per se, and one of the team on the booth said they took inspiration from the recent Sekiro. Like Sekiro, I found it had quite a steep learning curve, although you are in some cases able to avoid fighting, which is a nice little touch. There's no launch date for this one yet, although the expectations are it will come to Steam and some, if not all, of this generation's consoles. At number 2, Murder at Malone Manor is a deception and deduction game within a multiplayer murder mystery setting. It's been designed to offer an emergent storytelling experience with no two mysteries ever being the same. The default mode sees between 3 to 6 players online in 3 to 4 minute rounds. One player is the murderer, which brings up a wonderful traitor element. I love the demo with you searching for clues, working with others to figure out who done it while always thinking, am I being had by the traitor? This comes out late this year or early next, with it coming to PC and a possible port onto consoles. At number 1, and the top hidden indie game gen from EGX 2019, Edgar Bobok in Balzac casts you as an eccentric outcast called Edgar. He lives out in the woods and has a chicken for a companion. It's all beautifully put together and so very comic book-like. I was really taken by the characters and the snappy writing of the demo, and there's something deliciously dark going on here under the surface. Gameplay-wise, it's a point-and-click affair, and for me, it's just very, very charming. While as of yet there's no word on the release dates, if you do head over to the Steam page with a link down in the description, you can go and download and play the demo today. And that's something I recommend you do once we're done with the rest of this video. So that's it for my rundown of the top 20 indie game hidden gems from the EGX 2019. But what do you think? Let me know down in the comments, and be sure to subscribe to the channel and press that like button while you're here. Many thanks for watching, and I look forward to seeing you all back here soon for more indie game videos.